it was all formed out of thought. Therefore, consciousness. I think everything is consciousness, and it was it resonated and it developed from consciousness. He spoke a word, whatever, thought. What do you think about that?
Well, in John 1:1, the Bible, it says, "In the beginning was the Word," and then in Genesis 1, it says, "In the beginning was Logos," which is sort of a breath or voice or spirit voice. And then we've got the whole science of cymatics, which is I'm getting somewhat convinced these days that the ultimate base of the universe is sound vibration. And, of course, that's right in line with quantum physics. So, I'm a little biased. I mean, I wrote I don't know if maybe it's say biased, but I wrote a whole book about that topic. So, I clearly am sold that the universe is, just study a little bit of quantum physics. The solid stuff you see, every single person listening here sees in front of you, isn't there. Okay, you're misperceiving energy. If you see a solid piece of matter doesn't exist. It's energy.
I know. Just like color doesn't really exist. It's phenomenal that everything really is an illusion. Even time. You get down to Planck time. There's a time actually jumps when you get it small enough. It actually is rigid or quirky. So nothing's really real. Therefore, I think it really points to that everything was formed out of a thought. And speaking about how everything came into being by sound and the word and all that. It also, if you recall, in Revelation speaks about the 7 great thunders that are uttered by this great being at the end, and all of time freezes, is stopped. Everything comes to an end. So you have sound in the beginning, or the thought of sound, and then you have it at the end. So I don't know. People ought to consider these things, I think.
Yeah, we see these I almost said coincidences. You have these pieces of information piling up, and the coincidences stop becoming coincidences when all that adds up together. So it becomes overwhelming. If you throw numerology into it, then it's almost a done deal. Numerology is just so utterly powerful. Absolutely. I know the Illuminati is into that, and people say, "Oh, no, it's evil." Of course they're into it. It's the real science of the universe. They want to tell us it's fake junk, and then they're going to keep it for themselves. So, of course, all you need to do is throw that in the mix of the whole sound thing, because the numerology, of course, has to do with words and word structures and different, the power of symbols, and that's the basis of the whole universe. The story we're told about the universe is just a bunch of mindless, block-like pieces of matter bumping around like billiard balls. It's still roughly taught, even in quantum physics. And they all know it's not true. But people just don't have any way to conceptualize, because they've not gone further into, say, numerology, to think of, maybe meaning charges the universe instead of. We see the universe through matter. That doesn't mean that's accurate. Because like you're saying, the colors that you're seeing, that's just frequency hitting your eyes, energy frequencies hitting your eyes, and then your brain creates an experience. So it's an illusion. So, one of the main things we experience about our reality, color, isn't there. We just make it all up.
You make it all up. Your wife goes, "No, honey, put on the blue tie." Well, not only is the tie not real, but the color's not real. But we're stuck in this illusion, and I think that's the key, folks, is being able to transport yourself out of the illusion, grab the truth, and then maybe make a mad dash and break out of the bubble. Hey, Jeff, we've got probably 6 minutes left. Why don't you spend a couple of minutes and let's transition into if the Creator created all there is, where the heck is He?
Well, everywhere. There's no place in heaven somewhere else. It says in Matthew 3:2, the kingdom of God is at hand. And then the Buddhist texts discuss how, that matter, there's many different schools of Buddhism, but one very dominant theme in Buddhism is that matter, just like we were saying, is sort of not real, and there's actually an energy field behind all things, and so it's very, very similar philosophies. But the idea, I did that January 18 antimatter show that I did. I gave all kinds of passages from the Bible discussing God as being everywhere, and that's pretty stunning. I don't know where we got this idea in our churches that God is far off. No, God is sitting right next to you when you're going to war and fighting in Iraq and killing other children. Well, believe it or not, you're under the spell of the Illuminati forces, and God is right there. So maybe you should be a little bit more observant to the power of your reality and the consciousness that you have that you're wasting. And the way to find God is I did a whole show today on the Antimatter Radio Show about the soul, and the soul is, of course, within you, and the soul is connected to God. That's its definition in nature, is a creator-connected entity, and you can look inside yourself and find this thing. Okay, that's what my whole book, Telemitation, is all about. I think some of your listeners, John, have been buying my book, Telemitation. The sales have gone through the roof, over the last couple of days, and because we've been talking about it. If you are, I really can't thank you enough, because on a thin budget here, and I don't do Telemitation for money these days. So, but so where is God? God is here in us and all over the place. There's just so much to say. Our consciousness is not even restricted to our brain, and you can empirically and scientifically prove that. I've done whole shows on that. And
if people would just try, and experience their consciousness and get in touch with it, they would see that it's beyond their body. There's a lot of ways to do that. Folks, I did a series of videos. It's at YouTube. Just type in Big John Lipscomb, and you'll see a lot of my videos have got over 5,000 looks, and that's after YouTube's trying to hide them from you, but and keep the numbers down. But I talk about the where of God, the why of God, the how of God, and when it comes to the where of God, folks, my take is this: we Christians especially have this belief that was presented to them when they were a child, and they kept it, and they still keep it, and that is that God is way out there or up there somewhere. He's limited in time and space, or at least space. Maybe he's floating on a cloud. That's how you see it as a third grader. But as you grow up, you get to thinking, well, maybe he's this wizard, outside the earth, and he's just kind of, it's like a hovering globe or something. People don't even think about what they really believe and how ridiculous it is. And let me just share briefly how I take it. Why would the creator of everything limit himself, restrict himself to one small cloud or one little area? And so therefore, he's not limited, right? He's got to be everywhere. Now, that means that he's between you and the daisy, the flower. And if you go to the flower, he's got to be what? In the petals, outside the petal? Well, yeah, he's got to be both, right? If you go down within the petal, at the atomic level, is he the nucleus of the atom, or is he the proton, or the space between? Why would he be limited, outside of it, inside of it, to one or the other? Obviously, the Creator is a spirit, and it permeates all space, all time, all things. And that's just, I don't see how it could be anything other than that. We're about at the end of the show. Jeff, have you got a last thought? I think we're down to about 30 seconds.
Well, that's all written in the world of religions. I just hold the thesis that behind everything, you look far enough, and all of a sudden you come to divinity, and that's because it's the constant creator of our cosmos, and it's you're made to discover this. And I did a show on March 3 called "The Prison of the External Gaze." If you're always looking outside yourself, you're never looking into the God-connected soul.
Okay.
So take care, everybody.
Subscribe to the top 10 news stories each day, and listen to show archives at Don'tTreadOnMe.tv. The guys will see you again tomorrow.